Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a story that kind of defies all traditional economic logic. We are looking at the Swiss blueprint and how a remarkably small, geographically constrained nation managed to turn itself into an absolute global economic powerhouse.
So, let's just dive right into the central paradox here. How on earth did a country with zero oil, no massive mineral wealth, and a pretty small population get so incredibly rich? I mean, when we picture global wealth, we usually think of vast oil fields or countries with hundreds of millions of people, right? Well, Switzerland has none of that. It's a question that really challenges the very foundation of how we measure a country's true potential.
On one hand, you've got the physical reality. It's a harsh, unforgiving geography dominated by the Alps, which makes large-scale agriculture extremely difficult. But then, on the flip side, the economic reality is one of just massive global wealth and unmatched stability. To bridge the gap between these two realities, we basically have to look beyond what's in the ground and focus entirely on what the country actually built.
Section 1. Stability in Global Banking.
It all traces back to a very deliberate political choice made centuries ago, declaring strict political neutrality. Fast forward to the 20th century. While the rest of Europe was, tragically, being torn apart by major conflicts, Switzerland basically stayed out of the fray, preserving its domestic infrastructure. And as we move into the modern era, that unbroken streak of peace transformed the nation into this uniquely safe harbor, laying the groundwork for a towering global financial center.
And that brings us to the core sentiment of that era. People simply knew their money and investments would be safe. In a totally chaotic world, trust is the ultimate currency. This rock-solid political stability is exactly what allowed Swiss banks to build an entire industry around protecting client assets. Wealthy individuals and businesses from all over the globe actively chose Switzerland as the premier place to manage their wealth.
Section 2. Quality over quantity. Now, if you can't rely on cheap labor or abundant raw materials, what do? You innovate. And man, do they innovate. Switzerland is laser-focused on specific, highly complex sectors. We're talking precision watches, advanced machinery, medical tech, and pharmaceuticals. Just think about the fact that Switzerland imports raw cocoa but completely dominates the global luxury chocolate market, or the sheer mechanical genius required to build a luxury Swiss watch. These products require immense technical skill and command massive premium prices globally. They aren't in a race to the bottom for cheap manufacturing. They are playing an entirely different game.
The golden rule here is simple. Compete on unmatched quality, not low cost. Because the cost of living and domestic labor in Switzerland is so high, producing cheap goods just isn't viable. So by prioritizing rigorous quality, relentless research, and brand new technologies, these industries create products the world is more than happy to pay a premium for, completely offsetting those higher domestic labor costs.
Section 3. Human capital and institutions.
You literally can't produce advanced medical technology without brilliant minds, right? So, Switzerland relies on a heavy, deliberate investment in a world-class vocational education system. And this isn't just a backup plan to a traditional university degree, it's a deeply respected track that prepares students for highly specialized careers right out of the gate. Businesses thrive there because they can instantly tap into a workforce that is already equipped with deep technical expertise.
But hey, a skilled workforce needs a safe playground to operate in. That's provided by their pillars of trust. A super reliable legal system, heavily protected property rights, and incredibly low corruption. These strong institutions are the unseen engine of the economy. I mean, think about it. If you're going to spend a decade and billions of dollars developing a new pharmaceutical drug, you need a 100% guarantee your intellectual property is safe. And Switzerland guarantees exactly that.
So, when you put it all together, the Swiss blueprint is really this perfectly balanced ecosystem. High-value goods are created by a workforce fueled by innovation and education, which is supported by institutional trust and capitalized by a robust global banking sector. None of these exist in isolation. They feed into each other, creating this self-sustaining loop of prosperity that completely bypasses the need for natural resources.
Now, we can't completely ignore geography. We talked about the harsh mountains earlier, but there is a massive silver lining. Being literally smack in the middle of Europe provides insanely easy access to huge, wealthy markets. Having Germany, France, and Italy right next door is a strategic position that effortlessly supports international trade. It means those high-value goods don't have to travel far to find eager buyers.
Section 4. Future challenges and lessons.
Because let's be real, like any modern economy, Switzerland is facing real headwinds. It's not a flawless utopia. An aging population is inevitably leading to rising healthcare costs. Plus, there's absolutely fierce global competition, with other nations desperately trying to replicate their focus on high-value tech. These challenges are significant, and they're definitely going to heavily test the ongoing resilience of the Swiss model in the coming decades.
Yet even with those modern headwinds, their overarching story proves a vital economic truth. Wealth is built by people and institutions. It's not just extracted from the ground. Natural resources? That's just a lottery of geography. But political stability, specialized education, relentless innovation, those are choices. They are a proven blueprint that can be constructed by literally any nation willing to do the work.
Which leaves us with a pretty vital question to ponder as we wrap up. If natural resources don't guarantee wealth, what is your country building right now? Are we investing in our people, our institutions, and our stability? The Swiss blueprint shows us exactly what is possible when a nation decides to compete on quality and human ingenuity. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope it gave you a fresh perspective on the true origins of national wealth. See you next time.